Hello again. It's John Hauser. I'm back with another hard-hitting video. I've noticed in my videos that I seem to be wearing the same sweater all the time. I will assure you that each time I am wearing a different shirt underneath. The reason I'm wearing this big sweater is I live in the garage. You would have to watch some of my other videos to get an explanation of it. Now, I do have the heat on in here. I do have a heater in here, but it's like super cold in eastern North Carolina. It's not usually that cold here. At least it hasn't been in years prior. You'll have to excuse me. I just had lunch. I got my dog dad cup again, and I'm drinking some hot coffee. The purpose of this video is to talk about downsizing and the downsizing myth. I want to tell you right now that downsizing for senior citizens is unrealistic. It is a myth. Don't do it. Don't try it. Don't attempt it. If you downsize, you will not be happy. I'm going to give you some case histories and some examples of downsizing. First, I will use my wife and I as a downsizing example. Prior to coming to Wilson, we were living in North Raleigh in a very comfortable 2,400 square foot house. Now, I know 2,400 is not a real big house, but to us, it was just the two of us, just my wife and I and our little dog. We've always had little dogs. But it was 2,400 square feet. But when we got ready to retire and we started looking around for a house to buy that was out of the big city of Raleigh into a more quieter area, into an atmosphere that wasn't as busy, and moving to Wilson in 2017 was like moving to Mayberry. I mean, it was very quiet at that time. Now it has changed because the city's growing, but we didn't downsize. We went from a very comfortable 2,400 square feet to a very comfortable 2,800 square feet that has attached garage, attached storage room, which is I use my office. It has a golf cart garage in the backyard. I do not golf. I do not have a golf cart. So I keep my yard tools in there and our bicycles. Plus, I have another garage that I keep my Mustang in. We did not downsize, although we thought we were going to downsize. In the process of decluttering our prior house, my wife did downsize a little bit. She donated two books to the downsizing that I took to the Goodwill. I took several boxes of books that I had and took those to the Goodwill. We didn't really downsize. We just moved. Now, let me tell you this. I have known a lot of people. Now, being almost 76 years old, I know a lot of people in our age range and older who thought they were downsizing. I'll give you a classic case. I have some friends that live in this really small, like a 1,600 square foot little house. And you walk into the house and they have wall-to-wall furniture. Now, most people have wall-to-wall carpet, but these people have wall-to-wall furniture. And I asked them about it sometime. I said, wow, you've got some beautiful furniture and you seem to have a lot of it. And the answer was, well, we were living in a 5,000 square foot house and we downsized to this 1,600 square foot house. Now, did they really downsize? They went from a 5,000 square foot house to a 1,600 square foot house and brought all of the same stuff with them. They didn't really downsize. I'm telling you that this business about downsizing and moving into a smaller residence is nonsense. Don't do it. If you are happy where you're at, if you're a senior citizen, stay there. There's no need to, the children say, oh, you need to get rid of some of that stuff, you need to downsize. Nah, do it. Just do what you want to do. If you want to downsize, but make sure you get rid of some stuff. In our case, we didn't downsize, we upsized. And my wife loves to shop and she loves to buy stuff and collect stuff. So the collections are growing. Now, we're not talking about hoarding because everything is packed in nice, neat containers and labeled. so that we can seasonally decorate. I have another friend that downsized to one of these little bitty houses. I'm telling you, it doesn't look like it's more than 12 or 1,300 square feet. It's got one nice sized bedroom, one really small bedroom they use as storage. It came with no storage facilities, and it came with no garage. And yet they downsized. They downsized. They really did. They shrunk their furniture. They got rid of a lot of stuff, and they're living in this little bitty house. Now, is this person happy? I've had several conversations with this personally. Let's analyze. Every time we get together, he tells me that in their prior house, they had around 3,300 square feet. He had attached garage. He had detached garage. He had a 40 by 20 covered storage area. And he goes on and on about all the wonderful stuff that he had and all the storage he had and how he was able to buy and sell stuff because he had a place to keep it. But now he doesn't have a place to keep it. Did he downsize? Well, they may have actually downsized in building and stuff, but they didn't downsize mentally. He's still thinking about, I had all that space. I had that big house. I had that nice yard. I had a place where I could keep all my extra cars and my junk and my tractor. They had a tractor. So downsizing is not for everybody. And if you're one of these people that think you're going to downsize and sell everything and move into a condo, get ready for a life of boredom. Downsizing is boring. I have some close friends that moved to Florida a few years ago, and they thought they were going to downsize. No, that's not what happened. They moved to Florida and got a bigger house than what they had. A bigger house. And they got more stuff. Downsizing is a myth. Don't consider it. Don't think about it. I'm all for let's declutter. I'm all for let's pack up the stuff that we don't need and haul it off to the Goodwill or haul it off to your favorite thrift store, have a yard sale, sell some stuff. It's amazing how you'll spend $5,000 on stuff that you can sell in a yard sale and you'll sell it for $500. And a lot of times people say, well, I made $500. Wait a minute, you paid $5,000 for all this stuff and you got $500 back? That was a bad investment. I'm all for selling stuff, decluttering. If I get too many books, I give them away. You know, if I get too many cars, I mean, we're down to 3 cars. Now they're all used, they're all old cars. We don't have any new cars. I've got a 2008 Mustang. I have a 2013 Toyota, and my wife has a 2015 Lexus. They're all old cars, but they all run really good. They don't cost a lot to operate. You know, very low maintenance. My maintenance right now is oil changes, tire rotations, batteries, the normal service you would put on a car. I have no car payments. That's a good thing. No car payments. And we drive reasonably priced, economical cars that we could pay cash for. So what I'm trying to say here is use common sense. If you're going to downsize, the first thing you ought to do is see, what can I throw away? Don't downsize and take the stuff with you. Don't put 5,000 square feet of stuff into a 1,600 square foot house. If you're going to downsize, start by boxing up everything that you don't want, that you don't need. Take it to the Goodwill, take it to the Salvation Army, take it to your local church thrift store, have a yard sale, sell it, get rid of it. And then after you've decluttered, take another look. You may actually be happy where you're at. But, you know, get rid of the stuff before you think about downsizing. And after you've cleared the house out, you might say, well, maybe we'll stay here a while longer. You never know. But as far as downsizing goes, I'm against it. I think people make a mistake when they sell their big house where they're happy, move into a small house or an apartment or a condo. Now they're unhappy. I have met countless people. When I was working and I did 2 to 3 interviews with homeowners a day, I would find so many people that were downsizing or had downsized and they were not happy. You know, they're like, oh, I gave up my big, beautiful house, or I still wish I had my job, or, oh, I didn't really want to get rid of that sofa, but it wouldn't fit in here. You know what? Life is not worth going through all that trouble. Stick with the stuff. And again, what you don't want, box up and just get rid of it. But as far as the house goes, consider carefully what you're going to do if you're going to downsize. Will downsizing really make you happy? If it'll make you happy, go on and do it. I have some close friends that they really believed that downsizing was going to make them happy. And when it was all said and done, they were no happier than when they started. Because happiness is not determined by the size of the house that you live in. Happiness is determined by what's happening on the inside. Now, for those of us who are Christians, we know that happiness begins with trusting the Lord. The Apostle Paul said, I have learned that whatever state I'm in, therewith to be content. Now, he wasn't talking about living in Jersey or North Carolina or Colorado. He was talking about the conditions and the things that were happening around him. He was learning to be happy and be content in those conditions. So true happiness starts with knowing Christ as Savior. So my free advice to you is, if you're a senior citizen, if you're thinking about downsizing, take a pause, think it over very, very carefully. Don't make any rash decision. Don't let your children force you into it. Think it through. Be very careful about it. And in the next video, we're going to talk about some more humor. Okay, see if I can get this thing to shut off. I always have to push the button twice.